And? Oh. No little, all right, sick. Cloud and Glenn? Glenn? What? Well, we're gonna get some apology crystals for that. We're gonna get some apology crystals for that. Nope, sure isn't.
A few moments later.
Neutral. It is Cloud. I don't know what that was. Interesting. Ice weakness and ice damage? Oh no. Glenn's new weapon inflicts enfeeble? Oh no. New draw, this will be a step up. Yeah, another step up. All right, so we've got ourselves a new draw. So first thing we're gonna do, the same thing we always do, we're gonna check out the aesthetics. So it is not the same lightning outfit, and I love this outfit, personally. On lightning specifically, but also it looks dope on Cloud. I think this looks great. This looks really good. I like this a lot. But I'm a fan of the 13 series, so like for me, it's like, I just like this stuff, you know? It's just cool. It does look a little silly. And it's such a tiny cape too. Look at the little tiny cape. I don't know, man. I like it. It's good. It's good. I like it. I like the armor. I think it looks dope. Pop collar looks good. It looks better on lightning. Let's be real. The lightning pulls it off a bit better. Sorry, Cloud, but like, it's solid, man. It's solid. I think the weapon looks good in his hands too. The color scheme's great. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, this is dope, man. I like it a lot. All right, Crimson Blitz. It is not elemental. Okay. Attack and ice potency. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so this does at OB0. This is a 430% non-elemental magic attack. Applies ice weakness, and it is not first time, so it can be reapplied. That's important. And then when self's HP 50% or more applies ice damage bonus. Oh, so that's not ice elemental damage. That's ice damage bonus, like the magic damage bonus, huh? It's gonna be 46 attack and 56 ice potency is good. Let's check OB6. OB6 ice weakness goes to 30%. HP range stays at 50%, goes up to 25. It's only gonna go to 30 again. Ice weakness goes up to 30%. That's normal because it can be reapplied, right? Man, I gotta be honest. I'm not a fan of this. It's a good weapon. Let me rephrase. 3 ATB, 800% magic non-elemental. Ice weakness is very good. Reapplicable ice weakness is very good. Ice damage bonus is very good. But in order to get this onto Cloud, you have to drop his fusion sword, and fusion sword's kind of the thing that's keeping him above water right now. Like, you have to drop fusion sword on Cloud to give your team a 30% ice damage buff. But like, that's, if you have OB6 fusion sword, that's a what, 35% and 35% for the exploit weakness, right? So that's a 40% drop in total damage for Cloud, just to increase one of your other DPS's damage by 30%. Because like, the only reason that this ends up being good is if you pull heavy on Tifa's weapon, because her magic ice damage is so high. But right now, I think Cloud's the highest magic ice damage dealer in the game right now, right? And for a single target attack, outside of for featured weapons, I mean. I'm pretty sure he is. And so with that in mind, like, I just don't know, how do you slot this in, right? Like, where do you put this at? He doesn't have 3 arms. Having to drop his exploit weakness weapon just to increase somebody else's damage is kind of a, meh. Obviously, the bonus to this is that it's only really needed on stages and enemies that don't have ice weakness. So like, you probably weren't bringing his exploit weakness weapon in anyways, and that's probably the argument here. So it just makes it so that you can always use ice. And then even on those ice stages, you're giving that 30% weakness effect and an ice damage bonus effect as well. Our abilities are great for offhand ice damage Cloud, right? Because you can use this on his physical and his magic build. So that's a good thing, right? So his physical weapon can offhand this and his magic weapon can offhand this, which is dope. It's just a bummer because I even if you do this and you change the weakness effect in, right? Like Fusion Sword still gives you 35% weapon damage. Yeah, exactly. Except this one also has that ice damage bonus, which Angeal's does not have, right? And I guess that's what makes it a limited weapon. Plus the R abilities are great. Like legitimately the R abilities are great. One of the things that Ice is actually struggling with is that it doesn't have good 56 points ice potency. There are only 2 in the game. One is Cathpaloob for Vincent, which is great. That one's actually really good, but it's only for magic. And then the other one is Defender, which has boost heal, which isn't awesome, right? So having a 56 ice potency with a boost attack option is awesome. But like, if I could be honest, I wish it just cut this and made this a featured weapon, honestly. Because I don't see very many places where I would use this out over Fusion Sword. If it did ice damage, this would be different, right? Because then at least I could replace Full Throttle with this, right? Because Full Throttle is just a magic attack buff and a magic defense debuff. You can get that from Crimson Staff. What a weird choice. I don't know what they're thinking, man. And this is strictly because Fusion Sword is so unbelievably strong. Like having to take you when you're talking about Cloud's kit, if you don't have Fusion Sword at OB6 plus, like this is a completely different conversation, right? But if you have Fusion Sword at anything above OB6, taking that weapon off on Cloud is a hindrance, right? You are actively putting him at a disadvantage because not only is he getting a big exploit weakness, I think it's 35% at OB6, he's also getting a physical and magic attack bonus effect. It's like C ability bonus that increases his C ability damage by 35%. This is wild, man. I just don't get it. And why on Cloud, right? Like, man, I am not crazy about this weapon. It's really good for the stages that you don't have ice weaknesses, right? The problem is that this is a limited weapon, right? Which means you have to invest in it to get to the OB6 to even get to the 30%. This is another one that's kind of good at OB0 though, which is good. But like, this is one that I would want to have at OB10 for the R abilities just for a sub weapon. I mean this sincerely. This is one of the only weaknesses in Ice is that their sub weapons are not optimal, right? Like physical Ice needs a weapon like this for sub weapons. But like if I'm thinking about how I'd like to use this as a sub weapon, that does not speak boldly and well to the effect that it's trying to provide. Let's check out the outfit. Equilibrium. Attack all allies. Again, I mean, I guess in this case it's good because you would probably be holding this outfit when you're not using the Fusion Sword, I guess. And even with the Fusion Sword, I guess the plus 10 gets you up to the what would it be? 46, 23. It'd get you to the level 4 break. Woohoo. Wait, it's 15 points, right? Never mind. Get you level 5. Get you level 5. 23 plus 15 is 38. So it gets you up to 11%. That's an extra 4% damage. That's good. Savior's Creed. Whoa. I need to stand up for this. My head hurts. No, I'm just confused. I don't understand why this is on Cloud. Sincerely, I don't understand why this is on Cloud. I don't understand it. Like, what are overspeed rolls for, right? I'm having a flashback to when that Watch of the Hunt came out for Yuffie, right? That's what I'm doing right now. Watch of the Hunt came out, and it's a weapon that decreased the entire enemy team's physical attack, increased your entire team's physical defense, did very minimal magic lightning damage in an area of effect, with magic attack and magic ability potency sub or R abilities on a truly supportive weapon. And then they gave it to Yuffie, who's an attacker, not a support character like Sid or Lucia or, you know, insert support character here, right? Now you've got Cloud. They give him a supportive effect, which Cloud doesn't have very many of, admittedly, right, in his kit. He's got like, I think 3 or 4 truly like supportive effects between Mystic Sword, Bandage Sword, I think, what's Iron Blade? I think is the one that does a physical attack debuff. Like, he doesn't have very many like supportive effects in his kit. They give him a weapon that increases your entire team's ice bonus damage, which is only good on magic, right? If you pulled for Ice Sephiroth, you already have ice damage bonus. So that doesn't even help you on the physical side if you pulled for Ice Sephiroth. So it's only for magic. And then they gave him this supportive effect that kind of rolls into him using full throttle in the main hand, but then you have to drop Fusion Sword, which is the only reason that Cloud is even relevant right now. And then the outfit has all allies HP up with a 20% damage buff to Cloud and a 20% defensive buff to Cloud. Which that damage buff is not enough to carry unless you want Cloud to be a support. But that's the reason that if you're running Cloud as a support. But he doesn't give your entire team magic attack. His full throttle only gives himself magic attack. So he can't even really support your team like that. I don't get it, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, what? He's an attacker. Why is he getting supportive roles? Why isn't this on Sid, man? Like, what are we doing? Why isn't this on Sid? But the problem is that Cloud has that Fusion Sword, right? So you have Cloud with the Fusion Sword, which increases his DPS at OB6. He increases his DPS by 35%. And then when he's hitting for a weakness, which Cloud is hitting for a weakness on everything except for Earth right now. When Cloud hits for a weakness, it's doing an extra 35% again. So that's 70% bonus damage. And then they want you to drop that for this. For stages that where enemies are not weak to ice. But you put it on a character that has the ability to deal weakness damage to every single element in the game except for Earth. Like, so when are you ever using this? Like, I don't know when you're ever using it. It's good, it's not bad, it's a solid weapon. But like, I don't know when Cloud himself is going to carry it. Yeah, and even at OB0, I think Fusion Sword is it a 20% buff? Right? I think it's 20% exploit weakness and 20% weapon bonus, weapon damage. I think that's right. We can check that actually. I can just look. Oh hell, it's 25%. Jesus! At OB0, this is giving you a 50% damage boost. 50%. This other one gives your entire team 30%, which is dope. But like, this effectively reduces Cloud's damage by 15%. And that's if you get this new weapon to OB7 or OB10, which no one is doing. Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, they always do, right? I'm sure that the current dungeon ranking event has enemies that are not weak to ice, but you're supposed to go in with ice weak or ice damage, right? That's a gacha game. I'm not dumb, right? But I'm talking about for longevity's sake, right? I don't know. I don't know when Cloud in particular, is ever going to hold this weapon. Because like, even if you used it, because it's only for magic ice, right? Because if you pulled on Sephiroth's physical ice, like you already have an option, right? You already have the ice damage bonus. You don't need that, right? It's already done. So that's taken care of. If you didn't pull for it, this is great because it's able to work on both. And at OB0, honestly, at OB0, this is fine, right? You get the ice weakness, it's only 20%, and this is only 20%, but getting it to OB6 only increases it by 5 for the ice ability damage, and it only increases the ice weakness by 10, and getting it to OB10 doesn't increase the ice weakness at all. It just increases this ability damage to +5. But the reason why it irritates me is because we don't have an ice weapon that has mixed R ability for the attack and a 56 ice potency. So we actually need this in the game for sub-weapon, right? For a sub-weapon for ice damage builds, which is awesome, but then having this at OB10 is useless. Like it costs way too much for so little effect. And that's super frustrating, man. It's super frustrating. I mean, OB0, there's no reason not to pull for it, right? You may as well pull for one copy, right? But like, it's just not useful. But yeah, this outfit is crazy. This is an outfit that if this was on Sid, we'd be so pumped that this effect was on Sid. An HP all allies effect, it buffs his own damage, it gives himself some more damage or defenses, gives him an attack all allies, so it helps buff his team's damage as well. We would have been pumped if this was on Sid. And they put it on one of the offensive characters. And on Cloud for all like, just crazy. Crazy. Makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, so the weapon itself, a one pull is all you need here. You do not need to go deep on this. I don't think I'm gonna have too many too much debate on that one. I don't see any value in OB6ing this at all. Cloud's strength is that he has all 5 elements covered, right? He's got a good magic wind weapon. He's got a decent fire weapon. He's got a good physical and magic ice weapon. He's got 2 good, or 2 at least. He has lightning out weapons, right? He's got 1 good lightning outfit, or weapon rather. And then for water, he's got a decent water weapon, right? The water weapon's not the best, but it's fine, right? So he's got all this coverage. And so when the reason you would use an outfit like this is when you're fighting a non-elemental stage, or a stage where Cloud is not hitting for an effective damage type, right? And so if you have Cloud's Advent Children outfit that has the Omni Arcanum that gives you 30% bonus damage, that 30% bonus damage to your elemental damage is already better than this, right? The reprieve that gives is already better than this, right? And then this 15% HP to all allies. This is good. Like, this is a good effect. But when are you equipping that over reprieve on Cloud? Because Cloud's your DPS. This is essentially saying use Cloud as a support. And Cloud doesn't have the type of supportive weapons in his kit to like make use of this. Hell, if this was on young Sephiroth, I think young Sephiroth could utilize this better than Cloud could. But Cloud has really only been focused on damage. He doesn't have imperils like, you know, the resist down weapons. He doesn't really, like, outside of like Mystic Sword, he doesn't really have the supportive weapons in his kit to really get the maximum benefit out of this, right? But like if this outfit was on Sid or Lucia, or who are the other supports? Why do I keep forgetting? Kate Sith, right? Or, I mean, name it, right? But on Cloud, I just don't see that. I don't see where it's any good, unfortunately, which is dope. Which I'm sorry, which is not dope. It sucks because this looks cool. I like the outfit, but like I can't justify it, right? Not for that. I would imagine Kate Sith in Lightning's outfit. So that's where I'm at with this. It's unfortunate. It's just not something I'm very interested in, right? Like I said, the actual weapon itself, having this at OB0 will have its use cases, right? But like for OB6, there's no reason to get this to OB6. It's not enough. It's not enough to your damage. It's just not enough. Having this at OB0 though, and having the option to inflict the ice weakness is still helpful. So at least there's that. But other than that, this is a pretty easy miss for me. I would skip this. Which again sucks because I want the R ability so bad. I'm so mad that they finally gave us a good R ability like sub weapon for ice that can work on magic and on physical, and they put it on I almost swore. They put it on a limited weapon, dude. That's so frustrating. We still have one more weapon to check out, so let's check out Snow's Bardiche. Interesting. Does magic ice damage. Enfeeble applied, magic attack decrease, and magic defense all allies up. With 62 HP, I'm assuming that's gonna be 42 magic defense and an X sigil boost slot. OB6, Enfeeble goes to 45 seconds is a long time. Magic attack goes mid to high, magic defense goes mid to high. It is gonna be 62 and 42. And at OB10, mid to high, Enfeeble 60 seconds. This is really good. This is really good. Especially because we're getting an outfit for Glenn for free, which I already got today. Today's I think the soonest that you can unlock it. But Glenn's outfit has a +1 magic attack tier, which normally I would be like, ew, I hate those. But we got it for free, so he can do a -4 magic attack debuff with a magic defense up all allies effect on a tank, and it comes with Enfeeble and does actually pretty decent magic ice damage. I'm so mad. Why did they do that? That's so frustrating. And listen, if Cloud didn't have Fusion Sword, honestly, that weapon would be so much better, because then you could just build that magic ice team with Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud, and you could clear basically every single piece of content in this game that's not ice resistant, right? The only stage that you would struggle with would be like Shiva. And there are a couple other things that are resistant to ice, but like, the weapon's great. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the effect. I just wish it wasn't on Cloud. Like, and I wish you didn't have to get it to OB10 to get those R abilities. And the damage doesn't go up enough. Like, if the ice weakness on a limited weapon, the ice weakness only goes to 30%, Angeal's inflatable Buster Sword is featured and it goes to 30%. And that one's AoE, by the way. I'm pretty sure. Isn't that one AoE? I'm pretty sure inflatable Buster Sword is AoE. Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. It's area of effect. And it comes with a provoke, and it comes with a physical defense buff. Like, the two things that Angeal wants, right? Angeal wants to provoke, and he wants to increase his own defenses. But instead he provokes and increases his entire team's defenses. That is just objectively worse than a featured weapon. To a single enemy, that is objectively worse than a featured weapon. That's crazy. I just don't know, like, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, I think that's the part that frustrates me the most, right? I don't understand, like, they address the fact that Cloud's damage is weaker, right? By giving him the fusion sword. They knew that Cloud was behind all of the other attackers in the game, even some of the worst attackers, right? Like, he was behind Zac in certain damage types. And they are not very forthcoming about it. But yeah, it's just strange, you know? It's just strange. Because, like, Persona 5, the Phantom X, does a live stream before every single patch, right? They're in maintenance right now. And they did a live stream before the patch explaining everything that's coming with the patch. They explained the new character that's coming out. They explained how you use the new character. They explained all of the new character's abilities. They explained how it was changed from the China version of the game. They explained what her weapon does. They explained, like, good teams to build her on. They re-ran 2 banners and they explained both of those characters again and explained everything. I just don't understand. Like, it's like a flood of information, right? Well, and Persona 5, to the credit of the devs and to the credit of Ever Crisis, right? If y'all think that Ever Crisis is confusing, like, Persona 5, some of the abilities have, like, a full document on like how to use this skill. Like, it's a full, like, dissertation you have to read. It's wild how, like, detailed and how many things each of the things in that game do. So, like, they kind of have to explain it, or I don't think people would play it. Like, they need to do something with it, right? But this one is just like, deal damage, lower damage further. And it's just like, ah, got it. Okay, great. And in Persona 5, you hit the skill and it's just like, lowers damage by 7.9%, increases that defensive drop by 1% for every 1,600 points of, like, oh my God, stop. 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 It just keeps going. But for something like this, it's less about, I understand what the ability does. Like, I don't need Ever Crisis to explain to me the ability. What I need them to do is explain why it's on Cloud, right? And that's your point, Larry. Like, I would love to know why this is on Cloud. Because again, this does raise the ceiling of the ice damage build, right? But it only raises the damage ceiling for Tifa, or for Yuffie if you're using her as the DPS instead of Tifa's weapon. Because this actively hinders Cloud. It's such a strange choice, man. I genuinely don't understand it. I haven't been this, like, frustrated by a limited weapon since Angeal's limited break weapon came out in for half anniversary. Right? That's so valid though. So getting back into the Glenn side of things, this weapon is really good. It is obviously got its niche. It's going to be specifically for magic attack stages where you need that magic defense buff and that magic attack debuff. This is going to be awesome for that. This is one of those weapons that unfortunately you would have to get to OB6 to really see, like, the good benefit from this. But just having an enfeeble at OB0 and having some effects, I'm cool with this, right? Because remember, with his outfit that we get for free, it increases the max tier by 1, so you do get to get magic attack down to high with just OB0, right? The magic defense only going up to mid is kind of a bummer, but, like, even at OB1, like, 42 HP and 18 magic defense, this is fine. This is fine. And, like, his stream slasher water weapon is not so good that you couldn't like throw weapon parts into this for Glenn, right? Glenn doesn't have a ton of limited weapons, so it's not like he's competing his weapon parts all over the place. But I like this weapon a lot on a tank, specifically on a tank, right? Enfeeble, magic attack debuff, magic defense buff, and it does really solid elemental damage, right? 920% is nothing to sneeze at. That's a solid amount of damage. But yeah, this weapon's solid. This weapon's solid. It sucks that it's on a banner that you're probably not going to pull on. So hopefully you get a decent, hopefully you get a good overboost. Like it's just a one copy would be nice. Because even at OB0, this is a great, like having Enfeeble on Glenn is awesome, right? It sucks that it's only 20 seconds, but like you throw this on with Pirate's Glaive, it's still solid, right? Still solid. In terms of the wish list, first of all, I wouldn't pull on this banner. So let me make that very clear. Don't, like, I am actively giving advice. Normally I say pull for what you want. I would not pull on this banner outside of the one singular pull that you need to do to get the limited copies so that you can upgrade the weapons. That is all I would do for this. Wait and see, because we're likely getting a third banner, right? If those item boxes were correct. We're likely getting a third banner with Sephiroth on it. Anyway, in terms of the wish list, if you are pulling for Cloud, again, just to reiterate, I would not pull on this any more than once. But if you are pulling for Cloud, I would pull for Full Throttle. This is kind of a requirement. If you're going to use Cloud for an ice weakness down and an attack and ice potency offhand weapon, he needs his ice weapon, and this is his featured ice weapon in his kit. So this would absolutely be on the list. In terms of everything else in his kit, there's nothing else that you want for his ice build specifically. So unless you're trying to build in some like other supportive effects, the Mystic Sword's an option. If you just want Cloud to be a support on the team instead of a DPS character, almost a champion, instead of a DPS character on your team, you can give him the Mystic Sword as well. And this will give you a magic attack and physical attack debuff, which is obviously very good. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can do that. In terms of sub weapons for the Cloud build, I don't think that I would make him a primary DPS if you're using the lightning's, what's it called again? Sorry. Crimson Blitz. Crimson Blitz. If you're using the Crimson Blitz as his offhand weapon, I wouldn't focus Cloud as a primary damage dealer. I would give him the supportive effects. So magic attack all allies, etc. Because if you're not using Fusion Sword, Cloud's damage is just not as high as the other damage dealers in this game, right? Yuffie hits higher ceilings than Cloud does. Tifa's new weapon hits the higher ceilings than Cloud does. Not that Full Throttle is bad. Full Throttle is a very good weapon. But without Fusion Sword, you're not getting that exploit weakness effect anymore. You're not getting that weapon damage bonus effect anymore. And that Crimson Blitz does not provide enough of a DPS bump to just or to feel okay about losing the Fusion Sword damage, right? So when it comes to the rest of the wish list for Cloud, I would just include most of the new featured weapons because all of them are great. I think the only one that I would probably switch off of is I would probably look to move Glenn's Desperado Glaive and put on Angeal's recent weapon that should be in the list now. Yeah, the Ghost Ensis is here. So yeah, so this I would absolutely include. This weapon is way too strong to not have access to, right? So we definitely want to have this on wish lists going forward. But all four of these weapons, the Galleon Roar is also very good. Enfeeble magic defense down and magic attack all allies, which is awesome. The Desperado Rifle is a ice damage up all allies with a physical defense debuff on the enemies. This is also like this is probably, if this isn't the best featured weapon in the entire game, it's damn close, right? Damn close. And then obviously the resist up weapon with wind resist and lightning resist up, and then a physical attack buff and a heal for Matt. This is an awesome weapon. So awesome weapon. For if you're looking to try to pull for Glenn, the easy option here is Pirate's Glaive. Pirate's Glaive is just really good. It does a provoke, it hits an area of effect, gives him a veil, also gives your entire team HP gain, which is an awesome way to increase your team's health without having a heal. Not to mention the fact that it also has physical and magic defense R abilities, meaning that this could just be an offhand weapon for Glenn on every single stage, which is awesome. So having a consistent offhand weapon is something that actually is a buff or a boon for Glenn. Glenn is one of the weaker characters in the game, but I would argue that a lot of the stuff that they've done for him this year between Pirate's Glaive, Blade of Ruin, now we've got this new, he's got 2 ice weapons too. Now this new weapon, the Snow's Bardiche, is another great option, right? It's a magic attack debuff, it's a magic defense buff, for your entire team, which is really, really good, right? And his only other magic defense buff is the hardcore squad, I think, that does the AoE physical defense and magic defense buff, but it's only a medium increase, and it's 5/8 CB with bad R abilities. So like, he did not have a good option outside of that, and he doesn't have a physical defense increase either. So like, having a magic defense increase, that's something that you can actually work towards with his weapon parts, is very cool. Other than that though, that's pretty much the only other weapon I would include. I wouldn't even consider really dropping any of these for Pirate's Glaive. I don't think it's that important. If you want one copy of it, the one I would drop out of this list would probably just be Matt's, because there won't be very many stages that those two resists come in handy, for the short term at least. Obviously long term we'll probably want it, but short term we probably won't need it. So if you want to drop something, you can put Pirate's Glaive there. Otherwise, I think I'd be solid with this. I don't think I'd have to think about it too hard. This is probably my wish list. And like I said, we are gonna do one pull. Despite my gripes, I am gonna pull for it at least once. I guess I should have at least one copy for the dungeon ranking in case we need it. Yeah, all right, I'll do one. That's fine. That's fine. Because Glenn, I can use the weapon parts. Cloud, I absolutely can't afford it. Like Cloud doesn't. I don't want his weapon parts going towards this weapon at all. So. But yeah, like always, this is a limited banner, as all crossover banners are. So I always recommend pulling at least once on these crossover banners. You want to make sure that you're at least pulling in that one time, just to make sure that you're getting a copy of each of the weapons. So if you can. Obviously, we also have the one-a-days for these one-a-day draws. You do have the possibility of getting one of these two weapons in this. Not even just the 5-star copy. I'm not even saying that, but the 3-star and 4-star copy can be pulled from this as well. So if you're tight on resources, you can hold off and get these one-a-day draws and try to get that going instead. And then that'll be something worth writing home about, and then you won't have to waste 3,000 crystals. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, right. Yeah, because like you would think that Sid would have gotten this cool effect for ice DPS to pair with his rocket lance. Oh man, I'm just, the more that I think about it, the more it makes me mad. Let's just do the pull. Give me 12 stance and piss me off. 2? Okay, never mind. We got 5-star. At least there's that. At least there's that. I will not be pulling on this banner anymore. That's the only pull you'll see me do on this banner. By the way, it has been over 2 years. They need to either have other characters come out when it's a 5-star guaranteed, or have Cloud in different outfits. There's no reason for this to have been the exact same thing for over 2 years. You know, of course I would get an off wish list item. That's exactly that is the devs looking at me and going, oh yeah, you don't like this banner? All right, now how much do you like it? Less, you got me. It is less. I didn't get a copy of Glenn's weapon. I'm not pulling again. Hopefully I get a copy from the one-a-days. I'm not pulling on that banner again. That's crazy. I should have just left Glenn's on there. That's so stupid. That's so stupid that I didn't even get a single copy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Unbelievable.